You had this movie. You had this movie, Gods of Egypt, right here. And the deal with this film is that, as I told you, a lot of people were mad about this. They saw these sands, these pyramids, and then they saw the architecture and the symbols, and they saw also nothing but white people. I mean, there was some black people, but they were in the background. And then they went on to see these silly ass special effects right here too. A lot of people said, you know what? I haven't seen it, but I can tell. There's going to be some bullshit.
Really? Oh, no, I didn't think that when I saw it. I was like, oh, man, this is going to be amazing.
You goddamn lie, too. You made one with me.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of people came out, both black and white, like, man, why black people always complaining? Black people always complain, oh, you know what? So what? You ain't got no black people in Egypt. Big deal. You know, I thought this was a multicultural world right now.
Yes.
Well, you're keeping white people out of Egypt. Why you doing that? You're the one that's racist. You trying to ban people from going into Egypt.
How dare they?
So a lot of people are now coming out, and I've already been reviewed. Some people are saying, you know what? Nah, not a good film. Not by one bit. Everything you thought and more was bad. But then the counter argument is that, yeah, but you're coming in, you already, you wanted this to be bad. You were never going to give this a fair chance. And you know something? I can say this at first. I can tell you something about this Egypt right here is that one of the things they have on their side is that this is pure fantasy. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it is pure fantasy. What you have here, you have the gods of Egypt getting ready to come together for a celebration, but that old asshole Set, played by Gerard Butler, has to come in and just take over everything. He comes in, kills his dad, bowing people, knocking people out, and then his own nephew, Horus, played by Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. You know that boy from Game of Lannister. Just say Lannister. Not only is it enough to just beat the shit out of him, but he got to dig into his head and take his eyeballs too. Make him blind because his eyes are just that powerful. But the man taking over Egypt, wanting to rule just for his own greed, his own ego. Can Egypt ever be in the prosperous place that it was before? Only time will tell. Now, here's the thing about this whole thing about this movie and the controversy about black people and how this is the word they like to use is whitewashing. They said this movie is nothing but whitewashing. It's a trend that's very, very unpopular in Hollywood right now. Well, let me tell you something. As a black man, you can keep this Egypt. You can keep this old silly ass Egypt if that's what you want. If that's what you want to call this. I don't think any black people gonna be mad if y'all want to have this. I saw black people in the background. I said, brother, get out! Get out of here, man! Run! Why nobody see you, man? Keep on out, man. You know you need to be here. This shit. When I say fantasy, this is straight up fucking fantasy. If you want to call this Egypt, this is Egypt on fucking acid, man. You know, if everybody was high on Molly and walked around Egypt, this is what you would have here. This is straight up fucking fantasy. People, when I tell you something, when I say they took liberties, they took fucking liberties. Thor 2 is more historically accurate than this fucking movie is.
Yeah, that's sad too.
Thor is a bigger historical and more truthful historical figure than anything they do in this fucking version of Egypt right here. This is a case more than race, more than history. This is a case where this movie has fallen into a line of films where its directors put into a CG candy shop and they've lost their fucking minds.
And not in a good way like 300.
And not in a good way. 300? You could go and say, well, Zack Snyder knew what he was doing, but of course Zack Snyder gave us this bullshit Sucker Punch. And after that, I mean, really, people, I'm going to tell you, what all these movies have in common? You got Sucker Punch, you have Jupiter Ascending,
ooh,
and then you have one of well, I would say favorites, but say what you will about these movies, I hate them. No matter what argument you make. No, not even Sin City, the prequels. And the reason why is because all these films are where directors have gone in and did nothing but they emphasize the CG, and usually the CG was shitty not because the technology's not there, but because it just set up against when you set up a green screen and everything looks fake except for that one fucking human being in the middle with that halo over his ass.
Right, like Jesus.
Yeah, you got you can see him glowing the green scenes on him and shit. This is what you have here. This is another case of a director where they're not recognized by their style because they're directing a studio film where they have just lost their fucking shit. In fact, this movie is almost like if you let George Lucas take LSD and then let him direct the prequels.
Then you got to set it in historical times. Yeah, here it is right here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It shit is fucking crazy. And the reason why it's so annoying with these kind of movies is because these are the kind of films that they emphasize the CG and shitty CG over any kind of story. You pull back the CG in this, and you have absolutely no development story-wise or character-wise. I can even tell you right now, like the way they set this up, there's no sense of urgency for good or evil.
Yeah, it just felt like it felt like you're just waiting on a bus to come this whole movie. Yeah, it really was, man, because you're like, all right, this is going to get really good. It's picking up and then just halt. And then we're just going to sit here for another 40 minutes. And I don't know what this person's motivation is. They seem to not know what their motivation is.
They don't know. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is called Gods of Egypt. And I'm going to let you know right now, these guys ain't shit in this movie.
Worst fucking gods ever.
You a god. It's not just a god. Y'all are a gang of gods. Y'all are hanging out in one spot, the biggest god day that y'all can have. And all of a sudden, one dude who was banished, Gerard Butler, as Set, who was banished to Scotland, obviously, because he's the only dude.
I'm so glad you noticed that, because there was so many parts in this movie where he tries to put on like an English accent, which I still don't know why they do that. Like it's an old movie, so English accents are the best. But Gerard Butler's like, yes, and you don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, Set's drunk.
He's like, rule out of Egypt. I was like, you the only Scottish dude walking around Egypt, man. Look at him. He was like, what the fuck am I talking about? What kind of accent am I doing? This dude shows up. This dude shows up on God Day with nothing but, he's been banned. He shows up with his boys dressed up like Iron Man. And when they get there, he stabs his dad, beats his nephew down, and then tells everybody, get your ass down. And all the guys, do they fight? Do they try to get somebody's back? No, they get down on their knees like, okay.
Like, man, it's like 48 of y'all against this one dude and his mortal crew. Like, y'all can get them. It's not a problem. No, we need to be bitches.
Oh, no, no, be cool, man. Be cool. It's like, it's one fucking dude. And, when you look at this, you're thinking, okay, man, that's shorthand, because all they need to do is like, we want to help him get to the special effects. Let's let this dude come in, take over, and then we can move on with him being evil.
If they were hanging their hat on their special effects.
Let me tell you something about these special effects. Let me show you a clip that illustrates everything that I was just saying. The bad accents, the bad character. And the only person, and what baffles me is some of the actors they get in here. Who is it that plays Ra? Jeffrey Rushmore.
Yes, thank you.
And the only person that can stop Gerard Butler is the almighty Ra, who was the father of Set, played by Gerard Butler. And oh boy, have we got some great special effects for you in this clip right here.
What do you want?
Immortality.
Immortality awaits us all in the afterlife.
I don't want to die. I want to live forever.
Tonight, we died in Memphis. Like, all right.
For Egypt! Like, what's the fuck kind of accent is that, man?
But it won't be sitting on some damn boat.
CG just fucking happens for no reason.
Just like, all right. I thought somebody slipped me something during this movie.
Jeffrey Rush, does he set himself on fire because he's that powerful? No, just because he can. You know, I've seen episodes of He-Man that are more realistic than this shit right now.
I feel like he was like, yo, check this shit out.
I know.
Like, really, dude? Like, that's all you had to do?
They are so proud of these special effects. He didn't have to do it. They just say, hey, we got money for particle effects. So,
I don't know why he got bigger.
you know,
It didn't make him stronger. He just got bigger for no reason.
For no fucking reason. While your man over here is turning into fucking Johnny Storm, they're ignoring any kind of development or anything. You know what? When you look at this, that is just one scene that you're watching right there. Special effects just coming out of nowhere. The movie does that continuously. Special effects for no reason other than we have the budget. We need the spectacle. It's like somebody with a paintball shotgun just blasting your ass to the fucking head over and over and over again. It's, this is, and I'm going to be fair here. I've seen some people make really bad comparisons, unfair comparisons about the CG. Now, a lot of your CG in here, is it bad? Yeah, it's no denying that. Most of your CG in here where, they have to do, where you have shiny things. Like you see some of these characters that turn these Mortal Kombat characters right here and whatnot.
Don't even besmirch the name of Mortal Kombat with this.
You're right.
This is some like low-level offbeat Power Rangers. This shit is bad,
Man, I cannot believe this movie's got a $140 million budget, and this shit looks like Terminator 2 right here. I don't know how y'all fucked up this bad. I mean, some of y'all got $140 million, and that's the shit you doing with this?
Yeah.
You know what happened? There was a dude who said, I can do special effects. Yeah, I come from Industrial Light Magic, all that shit. Y'all hired him. He ran off with y'all's money.
Exactly.
And y'all didn't find that motherfucker. And then y'all got the janitor to do this shit.
Some Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Like this part, so I was like, man, I know. There was one part where they were standing near a bubbling brook, and it looked like one of the, when you go to like Universal or Disney World, and when you go through the rides, it looked like they just filmed it like it's a small world. Put some CGI on the background.
People, the problem is that you have all you're writing on is CG effects, which nobody is wowed by anymore. Right. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. I've seen crazier shit than this giant fire-breathing snake. Impressed me with something else. It works if that fire-breathing snake or any other creature or spectacle they had in here fit with something that was even a small resemblance of a story. Mm-hmm. But it's not. That creature has no effect but to be there. If this was when Jurassic Park came out and this movie came out a week later, I'd be like, oh, fuck, man, yeah, let a dinosaur do that shit. But fuck this. It's like, whatever. Seen it. Done it. Who cares? Moved on. Oh, and by the way, that scene illustrates something else right there while I'm thinking about it. It's your girl Elektra right here.
Yes, I was about to say, isn't that the chick from Daredevil?
Elodie Young. Mm-hmm. Which I hope Daredevil is a fucking hit because this shit ain't doing her no favors right now.
The way man, you see her use her powers right there to basically make something happen to this snake where it's not, a problem anymore. Why couldn't you have done that when your boyfriend was getting his ass kicked at the beginning of this movie? Yeah,
exactly. Again, nobody's thinking about this shit. We just need action. We just need to move on to the next big thing. But we talk about racist. More than racist, this movie, I feel, is sexist. Because all your female gods in here, like Elodie Young, she's the god of love. She's not meant to be anything but somebody to fuck.
They basically called her a whore like 5 times. I was like, wait a second now, she's a goddess. You can't be doing that to these women.
She's a god and she's supposed to have all this power, but how does she get out of trouble? She fucks people.
Just opens up her leg.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Slanging that vagina. That's what she does, man. Even her boyfriend, Nikolai, Jamie Lannister. Even he's like, yeah, bitch, you sleep with my fucking evil uncle? How you help me? She's like, hey, well, I was fucking him. He wasn't fucking with you, was he?
Gotta survive, man.
Yeah, I had to get by. I was working with what I got. It's like, it really is kind of sexist in a way. Even some of the other gods in here, they're weak. They don't do anything. And it's like almost like a Disney tradition in here where, you always see the father, but you never see the mother.
Yeah, like
they mention the mothers in this and they don't ever talk about it.
That's another. So Corey mentioned that what's his name? Jamie Lannister's dad got stabbed and he got murdered by Gerard Butler. They just mentioned his mom. Yeah, she killed herself.
Yeah.
Like, what? They're like, and it's not done until like an hour into the movie. They're like, oh yeah, when my dad was murdered and my mom killed herself. I was like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, nobody even cared. Like the dad got a good death scene. Your journey begins.
All that gold blood.
And all that gold blood came out. He's so dramatic. He squirted gold blood out. Oh, avenge me, son. What's mom at? Oh, that bitch committed suicide. They don't give a damn about a bitch in this movie.
Other one got her wings ripped off.
She got and didn't do shit. Couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
No, please don't do this. Oh! It's like, wow. Nobody, a female, nobody who's a female in this movie does anything in here of significance other than charm people, use their sex, or just be a very smart plot device to be forgotten. You know, everybody else in here, while they're trying, I will give everybody else I would be gracious to say that everybody else in here in this film, at least they're trying. But they don't go anywhere beyond what's required, beyond their plot descriptions on the script. Mm-hmm. You know, they're supposed to be this type. They're supposed to be that type. Outside of that, they have shitty dialogue written for that type of person. And when I'm watching this, man, you know, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I ain't mad at you. I know a lot of people expect me to be mad at this movie. I ain't gonna even lie. I had sort of a good time, man. This is like,
how drunk were you?
Man, you gotta understand, I love shitty movies. This is like watching a train wreck that explodes glitter in slow motion, man. I love it. You know, it's the people died inside, but it's so pretty. You know, and it's so funny on the outside, but it's still bullshit.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Even your body rejected that rating. You're like, hell no. Fuck you.
You know, when I'm watching this, you got to understand that I want to have fun with this because it's one of those movies where it's bad, but you could probably watch it and still have a good time on a very basic level. I'm not expecting every movie out there to have a tight story, to be epic. I'm not expecting things to be serious and Academy Award winners. Do I have to say that to you? You know I like things for fun. But this right here, the reason why I'm against this, and like I said, there's a lot of things to enjoy. These actors dedicate themselves to this, and it's something funny about watching directors and actors just commit to dumb shit. Because these people are committed. It's the dumbest shit. And they're like, no, you know what? We're hired to do a job. No matter how stupid this shit is, we're dedicated to it. However, the reason why I'm going against this is that I'm not knocking it for its ambition. This could have been something that could have been very cool, a fantasy story with the motifs and the themes of Egypt.
Right.
I'm not praise this movie for its ambition. I wish it could have worked, but it's ambitious and lazy in its execution. This is nothing but usual lazy studio overproduced special effects material that we're looking at here.
There's things in here that just don't make sense. You're like, all right, how does a god kill another god? Can a mortal kill a god? Can a god be stabbed and be dead, but they're not dead?
Yeah, and where do gods go? You know, they're gods. What heaven do they go to?
Nothing was consistent. And then the other thing was like, oh, you mortals are, we may live 1,000 of your years, but you mortals are nothing. I'm like, well, if you still die, you're immortal. Like, you're not a god. You're not immortal. If you die, even though you live longer, you're still immortal. You're like a fucking whale or a tortoise.
Yeah, you just a giant magician talking shit.
Yeah, man. God, you could have had a better God slaying story and playing God of War 3. You would have had more fun doing that too. I recommend you just going on YouTube and watching God of War 3, the movie. Just do that.
Yeah, people. What do you give it?
Oh, this is a hardcore fuck you.
Oh, fuck you. Not even
this
some
movie, man. No, this is bad, man. I want Corey, I was
Damn, you roll up your sleeves and shit. You about to beat my ass. You like,
I'm mad I had to see this shit, dude. I'm sitting there the whole time I'm watching it. I was like, when is this gonna? I was checking my watch every 15 minutes.
My biggest disappointment is that this movie is so studio produced, and if you can't tell how studio produced this fucking film is, look at Alex Proyas. Alex Proyas, when he came out in the 90s, I can't remember when these movies came out, but they were 90s films. And when he made his debut, he was known as a visionary director. Dark City was where he first came in. I think it was a video director before. And they said, this guy's amazing. The reason why The Crow with, Brandon Lee?
Brandon Lee. Mm-hmm.
The reason why that movie works, not because of story, but because it had such a unique Gothic style. And when you see where Alex Proyas has come from that area to this generic CG ass shit that's going on. He's not the director here. He's just filling a director's chair. And I really hate when you take a director and you just beat that motherfucker down so bad, just strip him of everything that made him unique. That's what this movie did. I'm not going to even go as far as fuck you, because I did get some enjoyment out of this, but I mean, look, it's just bland. It's fucking bland, and like I said, it's desperate. You can add food coloring to water, but that shit's still going to be bland and tasteless, man. So this shit is, it's entertaining bullshit for me, because I did have fun. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Man, I feel like I like bad movies as much as you do, but this movie tested my patience.
But can't hang with this, huh?
Nah, man. I was like, what? This nigga.
You know what, man? I ain't gonna even lie. I sat up there, had my legs propped up, and I was watching the movie, and halfway through the movie, I'm not gonna lie to you, I farted, man. And I was, you know what? I was so mad because I was the only black person. I was like, yeah, y'all take that shit.
Collard green gas.
Yeah.